In front of me today we've got Sheikh Bilal Khan and Ninder Johal, two of our esteemed judges for the Asian Apprenticeships Award 2016. Now, gentlemen, I feel like the haddi in the middle of the kebab here, you know, in terms of what you two are about and the professionalism you bring to the judging panel. Tell me, Sheikh, what are you looking for in terms of the winners here, in terms of the apprenticeships, and also the type of companies who are supporting those apprentices?
Well, we're not looking for haddis and kebabs, but you know, we're looking for people who have consistently performed and those who meet the criteria. I mean, that's the very first thing you'd always look for in any person. You know, as good a talent as someone is, if they don't meet the criteria and they don't evidence what they're saying, that's very important, because what we've found in some cases, and maybe that's the reason why they haven't probably won, is they made claims and assertions, but they haven't substantiated those claims. That's very important for going forward. I think people should do that a lot. And I think it's just setting a benchmark. I mean, it's not a case of who's won today, but actually this is a foundation for future apprentices and employers, and it's providing that alternative paradigm, because the paradigm, the model that's out there now, is all about universities. This is the A route and that's the only route. What we're trying to say here, apprentices do work, and you know, especially the post-2008 global crisis, financial crisis, we do need something which is not debt-based, because you know, when you go to university, your first 4 or 5 years, you're laying on so much debt, and servicing that debt and coming out of the other way in a way which you can then live your life is very problematic and difficult.
Absolutely, thank you very much. Now, Ninder, in terms of the businesses involved in the whole process here, how supportive are they in light of the paradigm shift that Sheikh is talking about here?
Well, it was interesting. From a company perspective, we looked at to what extent did they have a strategy in terms of a human resource strategy, and to what part did an apprenticeship play within that strategy. So we looked for a company that had clear strategy, how to utilise their workforce, and in particular how to utilise apprenticeships. So we were looking for evidence on how they were reviewing, how the apprenticeship was going. We were also looking at what they were forecasting in the future. And obviously it's all about destination, so were they looking to keep their apprenticeships. So these were all the things we were looking for. Now, in terms of how it affects the economy, not everybody can be a graduate. There are people who are much more inclined to work with their hands and have a really superb brain, but in another sphere and not necessarily in a classroom. So they're the kind of people that are applicable here. And we were looking for companies that understood that, companies who understood how to recruit those people, how to train them, how to promote them. And if they get that right, you talked about 2008, then we have to rebalance the economy, we have to get growth right across the country, and apprenticeship is the perfect tool to rebalance it. But companies and apprenticeships need to know what they're getting into. So there needs to be a clearly well thought out strategy. That's the kind of things we were looking for.
Thank you very much. Now, you've both highlighted the challenges involved in both from the apprentices side of things as well as the business side of things. Now, what about the community side of things? Very briefly, if I can have a quick one-liner in terms of what the communities and our mothers and fathers and our mentors have got to, what say they've got in this business.
Well, hopefully this event today will highlight the contribution of apprenticeships, and hopefully as our second generation, third generation, intelligent people like Bilal, who can go around the community and say, well, actually, that's the past, this is the present, but think about the changing future. And that's where apprenticeship sits.
Sheikh, anything to add to that?
I echo the sentiments. I mean, for me, the most important thing is that you need to be pragmatic in current climate, and you need to look at something which is innovative, and then apprenticeships are a new way of doing it. And I like the way Ninder's mentioned that, the fact that it's more hands-on. Not everybody is someone who's, we're not saying that they're not intelligent or intellectual, but are they academic? Because the academic part of it is that detail-based, the eye for detail, the research, the reference. You don't need that. I mean, in our community we say somebody who does PhD is a pira wa damag. You know, you don't necessarily need to go down a PhD route. And we've found people, you know, Rami Range is one example, I'm sure Ninder, there's so many people in our community.
Mo Nawaz as well.
Mo Nawaz, you know, who've done really well, whether it's education or laterally you can do education. I said, I've been on record for this, make the employers pay for your education. And the way to do it, you get into the organisation through an apprenticeship, and they can fund your, you know, whether if you want to do an MBA later on. And by the way, degree route isn't just through GCSEs and A levels. You know, there's a way of going in, and if you're a mature student, you can come in and do that. So what's the point going through that hierarchical structure, which is very, very costly, time consuming, and once you've qualified and you've got the training or the graduate recruitment, you still don't know market. You don't have the market exposure.
And I think a firm then has the perfect mix of vocational-led graduates through apprenticeships and the academic. So for a business, you have the perfect skills mix that will take you going forward.
And lastly, your thoughts on this inaugural event, the Asian Apprenticeships Award 2016, first time it's ever happened. Do you think there's a future in the Asian Apprenticeships Award?
Absolutely, and I think the main reason behind it is the organisation behind it and the people who are running it, SAFARAZ and the rest of the team. That's the main reason it will continue to flourish.
Yeah, you need all parts of society, sponsors, partners, communities coming together, ethnic minorities. I've seen not only judges, but even the people here in the room today. You've got people from every part. We're not just talking about Asians in the UK, but actually Asians, first generation coming here. It's really nice. I mean, that mix and the spillover in terms of skills and what you share, it's an experiential learning. And I think it's the start of many things, better things to come.
Not only are we talking about Asian apprenticeships, but we're also talking about Asian businesses employing other people from other backgrounds and other communities. So I think it is a community embracing, community cohesion type of event. Correct?
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.